making my way up to Lake Tali. As you can see, the mountains are starting to get a little bigger. It's all looking pretty good around here actually, pretty nice. And this will be my first bushwalk of 2023. My last one was back at the end of last year when I went up Mount Bogong, and since then I've had some issues. I moved in, I had to move out of where I'd lived for 9.5 years. I've detailed that, on the channel. We had a building inspection and they found the place to be unsafe, so I needed to move out. Luckily I was able to, through the use of social media, I was able to get in touch with a mate of mine, or mate got in touch with me, saying he knew someone that needed a housemate, and about 2 months ago I moved into another shared house in Keysborough. So it's all going not too bad, and had a couple of issues that I'm going to detail in a future episode, but I decided that I didn't have many days up my sleeve. I normally like to head out for 5 or 6 or 7 days, or at least 4 or 5, and but I'm just going to do an overnight hike. It's been a long time since I've done an overnight hike. Alright, well here I am at the start of the walking track to Lake Tali Karng. It's going to be pretty interesting. I'm a little bit excited about this. I've been wanting to come out here for a long time. I've never been here. So on the track, only come maybe 100 metres. Just signed my name in the trip intentions book. It's always good to put your name down on these in these logbooks, because if something goes wrong and parks or the emergency services have got to come out looking for you, they will look at the books and see what your intentions were. Anyway, like I said, we're only 100 metres into it, and got a first river crossing, and check that out. So yeah, they don't muck around here. When they say you got 16 to do, you probably get the first few out of the way and then be happy about it. But this is going to be brisk. It was 0 degrees overnight, and this is the other thing. I've got new boots on that I'm wearing for this trip. Figure this way, good way to break them in. A lot of people, when they come to this, they'll take their boots off and walk through in barefoot. I don't do that, because you don't know what's in the river. This looks pretty good, but in other rivers you don't know. There could be sharp rocks. Animals die in the river, and their bones can be there. They can stab you. There can be a whole range of things. Some of the country, there's been machinery dragged through in the past. You just don't know what's in there. So I prefer to leave my boots on, and here we go, we're into it. And like I said, there's no two ways about it. I'm just going to get wet, and I've just got to, this is actually pretty deep. This is over my knees. There we go, and here we go, in the water. So there we go, and well, that's the first one done. Water was cold, and on we go. Here's the track. First little wrinkle of the day. Done, I don't know, 3, 4 river crossings. Sort of had to walk up the river a bit, come down from down there. Actually, not on the track at the moment. Not actually sure when I went off. I've crossed the river, thinking over here looked a bit better and a bit more user friendly, but now I need to be over there, and that looks pretty deep. So all right, so by the use of my GPS giving me an exact location of where I'm at, and then looking at the map, I've been able to work out I'm meant to be up over here somewhere. So now I just got to head back, cross over the river, and try and find the track. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. You can get a little bit disorientated or geographically embarrassed, as we say, and you just got to work out where you're at, and then navigate out of there. So as you can see, I've found the track. I come up
straight through the bush here, up from the river. Felt like it had to be up here somewhere, and here it is. So you know, that's the important thing about when you're out here. You've got to keep a keen eye out for, you know, twists and turns in the track. And you know, I rate myself as fairly experienced, but there you go. Took a wrong turn, ended off the track. Didn't go too far, really only maybe a couple of 100 metres up the river on the other side before I realised it was all wrong. Got the map out, checked my location, and was able to readjust, and hopefully now we'll try and stay on this thing. How quiet is this spot? So another river crossing, and I'm not exactly sure where the track is. I think it's over there, but yeah, it's been sort of the one of the challenges for today. Not so much the actual river crossings, but sort of making sure that you find the track on the other side, and a couple of times it's been a bit of a challenge, and this is certainly going to be one of them, but we'll see how this goes. Actually not so bad. Once I got over the creek, I realised that that looks pretty track-like to me, so onward I go. Well, here we are, guys. I'm about I don't know, nearly 10 k's in. I'm just not feeling it. I'm a bit knocked around, and you know, the last couple of months have obviously taken a toll on me, you know, with moving house and the pressure of being kicked out of where I was, and I know I'm not 100%. I'm also nowhere near as fit as I need to be, and that's another thing. And the other complication I've got is I've got to work Saturday afternoon, and what's starting to play on my mind is that this thing's getting bigger and bigger, and starting to worry me just how trashed I'll be at the end of it. If I didn't have to work Saturday, I'd be way more focused and more keen to continue on. But at this point, what I'm going to do is, there's a nice campsite back about 800 metres. I'm going to go back to there and set up camp, and camp there the night, and then tomorrow I'll just head back to the car. You know, and it's one of those things that I've said numerous times. You know, you've got to listen to your body, especially as you get older. I'm 53, and you know, you've got to, and I'm on medication for, I've got a little bit of high blood pressure, and that's not something to mess with either. You got to, you know, I've just taken my tablet. A byproduct of all an effect of the a potential effect of the tablets is a bit of fatigue, so that could be knocking me around. Because I certainly just I don't have the fuel in the tank I would normally expect to have, especially on a walk like this. It hasn't been that tough, not like going up Bogong. So like I say, with all of that, and the fact I really can't obliterate myself because I've got to bounce back and work Saturday Arvo, I've decided, like I say, I'm going to go back to the camp, and that's just where it's at. And I know a lot of the people out there will be like, what are you doing, you know? But you know, plenty of people, they just push on, and who knows what happens. And I don't want to have to be sitting on the side of the track activating me portable locator beacon because, you know, I've pushed it too hard. I'd rather go back to the camp, have a nice night tonight, and then ooze back to the car tomorrow, and then drive home. And I think, you know, yeah, and I'm being honest and saying that's where I'm at. So, you know, I think it's tough. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Tali Karng. I'll certainly be back. Probably what I'll do is I'll plan for probably about this time next year, and I'll come back and I'll be able to use some of this GPS notes as, you know, benchmarks. I'll be able to see whether I've actually got fitter. You also learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. So this has taught me a lot. There's a couple of things I've got to tweak, and I've certainly got to get fitter. So there we go. It is what it is. And but for the moment, that's where I was heading, and I'm not going that way. I'm going back down here to a campsite, and I'll set up camp and head back tomorrow. And yeah, that's where it's at. Oh, nothing nice than like a nice cuppa first thing in the morning. Even though I'm still a little disappointed that I didn't make it to my intended destination of the Destruction Valley where I was going to camp, and then get up to see Lake Tali Karng today. I'm actually happy with my decision to turn around. I mean, sometimes you just got to listen to your body and where you're at. And I'm actually nice and relaxed now. I've got a nice, easy, about an 8k walk out, so that should be cruisy. I'm in no hurry this morning. I can sit around here for a couple of hours and then pack up. What the most important thing I think is to make sure I get back, you know, without destroying myself. And I've got to bounce back for work tomorrow afternoon. So, and that's a job where I've got to stand up and focus. And I'm doing filming for AFL sports in the lower divisions, and you know, I've got to be able to focus on that. So I have to be at about 100%. So I really can't trash myself. And that was my concern as I kept going yesterday. I was starting to feel that that day it got bigger and bigger, and it meant today was looming as being bigger and bigger, and I was just starting to feel that it was all getting away from me. And I wouldn't have minded if I could have just kicked back at home all day Saturday, but because I couldn't, that's why I turned around. And I'd come through this campsite on the way in, so I knew this was here. I walked back about 1 kilometre, feeling really good about that, and I've had a nice relaxing night, good night's sleep. And the most important thing is, I think, I mean, the fact is I'm out here with my gear. I've been able to play around with the backpack a little bit. It's brand new. This is only a second hike I've used it on. It's good to get out. And I mean, it's great to be out in the Australian bush. I mean, that's really the thing. And like I say, I'm nice and relaxed now, and I just got a nice cruisy walk back. I've probably got, I don't know, 8 or 9 river crossings to do, so there's that. But quite beautiful out here at the moment. Probably should also mention, like, some of the other things that were on my mind yesterday. My heel spurs did not appreciate the river crossings, and obviously it's the cold of the water that was the issue there. What I've learnt, I've got inserts in the boots which changes the angle of my heel a little bit. These are the inserts I've got. I got them from my podiatrist, and she's been great support, getting me to do exercises and everything. But probably the primary thing about what helps me deal with them is that I warm them up. So once they're warmed up, it just changes things down there, and the heel spurs are happier. Well, when I started, I was cruising along, they were fine, and then what actually happened, the first river crossing wasn't too bad. The second and third, suddenly the feet were cold, not freezing, but they were cold, and the heel spurs just absolutely slammed me. And and that's something that was a little bit, I mean, they hurt. So there's that. As for my knee, no, it's working fine, so I'm quite happy with it. But overall, I just feel like I'm just not 100%, and I think that and that's why I was sort of thinking the best idea was to return, and make today an easier day. I see no shame in that. Sometimes you just got to. I'd rather do that than push on and need help. And I've been in a situation where I've done that. I've had a hike where I pushed on, and it's easy for me to blame my mate who was urging me to keep going, but ultimately it was my decision to keep going. So the fault's mine. But I pushed on and pushed on. We're going up Mount Bogong, and this was the end result. And I was dehydrated and heat stroked and fatigued, and who knows what else was going on. And I don't want to engage the emergency service like that when I go out bushwalking. I mean, they'll get pretty sick of me coming out if they got to do that on a regular basis. So, so that's where I'm a little bit mindful of, pushing on. And I mean, there's pushing on, and then there's pushing on, and considering that this is just a short little trip, and again, the big thing is that I couldn't trash myself because I've got to bounce back and work Saturday afternoon. So that was playing on my mind. I will plan it better next time. I'll make sure I got at least one spare day up my sleeve. But yeah, I had a short bit of time. What I really probably should have done is just either driven out here and just camped at the campsite, or but you can really only have to camp there for one night. But I could have gone somewhere else and just camped for a couple of nights. I think maybe that's what I should have done. But anyway, I'm out here now, and it's been. Yesterday was interesting, and today will be interesting, but it's nice. I've only got about 8k, as I said before, and but yeah, river crossings are my heel spurs. Yeah, they don't like it. Making my way back from the camp, and heading back to the start of the walking track. I've done, I don't know, maybe 1.5 kilometres, something like that. So I've probably only got about 8 to go, so 8 to do overall, so 1.5, that makes a difference. I think I've got about 7 river crossings to do on the way back, so that'll be entertaining. But had a bit of a glitch with my batteries for my GPS. I've charged them all up and I rotate them through quite regularly, but when I put in the first set, they basically failed straight away. Put in another set. I don't normally bring that many, but they failed, so I was able to mix and match and get a set that had about 75% power. So as you can see, there's nothing on the GPS at the moment. It's not because it's shut down. I've actually put it into battery saver mode. So it's still tracking, still doing all the things it has to do. Just no display, and if I tap the button, then it wakes up and I can use it. But yeah, we'll see if it makes it to the end. I hope so. It'd be nice to have all the track data, so we'll see. Anyway, just got to continue up here. So at the last little spot where I had a break, I said that the track would dive down to the river. I was actually wrong. It just dived down into, I don't know, into the gully down there. I just had to come up this bit. This is actually the top of the rise up from the river. So now, now I'm going to dive down to the river. So here's what the track looks like.
As you can see, the weather's stayed really good. This is probably perfect bushwalking weather. Not too warm. It's 29 degrees, probably only about 25, 26 in the shade, but anyway, time to keep going down to the next river crossing. Pretty nice. I think this is the third last river crossing. Pretty deep here. I thought I was almost at the last river crossing, but I'm pretty sure there's one more after this. So so hopefully this is the second last one. Sort of done with them for the. Well, I am fairly confident, probably 99% confident that this is the last river crossing. It's pretty deep, and I'm sure, you know, in other months it's a lot deeper, so certainly one, I was glad I was going to do this in the end of November, and it probably was easily half a metre deeper, if not more, so it's probably good I didn't try then, and ultimately instead of that trip I did me Bogong trip. So anyway, it's been a cool trip, bit of a hit out. Got to play with me water filter gear, and that was good. Yeah, people might be wondering what sort of stuff do I do to try and prepare for these sorts of walks. Well, recently it's been tricky because I was in the process of moving house, but I have found a nice place out at Lesterfield Park, which is not too far away, and I've been out there a couple of times. I was out there in the wet and doing like 10, 11, 12k walks, and maybe I need to do bigger day trips to prepare me for these things, but try and do more of them. Now I'm just going to sign the intentions book and head up to the car, but well, that'll be a wrap for this one. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.